your Instagram looks like this, and you're like the thousands of brands I've spoken with that believe Instagram has shadow banned them because their content is not reaching new people, then this video is for you. Now I'm gonna share with you an actual system you can use to go from no growth to consistent growth. So why are people not following you, and how can you reach people even if you have a low follower count? Okay, so we're gonna cover a couple of things real quickly. I'm gonna talk about hooks, I wanna break down your actual messaging, and then I wanna go through and actually audit accounts and show you the 5 things that you have to have in place, or a grading scale that you can use to actually help grow your brand. So one of the biggest reasons that somebody doesn't watch your content, and like I said, we'll get into the messaging piece here in a second, is because your hook, or really for the first 3 seconds, if you will, it doesn't catch people's attention. Now, some quick numbers for you to pay attention to. You wanna go over here. Now, you can look at any of these. Okay, let's go ahead and look at this reel. You can view insights. This was just posted. You can see 87% of these people were followers, 12% were non-followers. Okay, you probably have similar numbers. We want the numbers to actually be much larger than that. So what you're looking for on a reel is you'll actually scroll down, and for whatever reason, I don't have it on mine. You may not have it on yours, and we'll pull up an example here of where it's gonna be, but underneath the plays and the watch time, you'll actually see what percentage of people are watching for the first 3 seconds. This is very, very important. If you're below 30%, your hooks need some actual love, and I'll show you how, I'll give you some examples of what you need to do to increase those hooks. If it's above 35%, 40% or more, you're in a good spot. You're actually creating some really good content. Some reels, if you will, to reach new people. There's kind of a no particular order, but every time you're coming up with a reel, for example, let's just go here. I got this curated. Maybe you wanted to create a new reel like this, okay? And you wanted to copy this, whatever it would be. Now, let's say you did this reel right here. You would want to come up with 1 video and 3 different hooks. If it's a talking head anyway, it's a little bit easier, so somebody actually talking to you. You can go negative. I can't believe this just happened, or you'll never guess where I actually bought this clothes, whatever it is. Surprising, like you'll never guess, or act surprised. Timely, so for example, is this something that happened just now? Like, is it like New York Fashion Week? Is it Paris Fashion Week? Is it something that's going on, like maybe you're at market? Whatever it is that's very timely. You could do listicles. Everybody loves a list. So like the top 3 things that guys should be wearing in the summer this year, and it'd be 1, 2, 3, and actually list those things out. You could do something that's emotional, so I kind of think of this as a connection video for you and that person. You could be talking through starting this business. It could be behind the scenes. It could be, I'm not saying you should be one of those people who are on camera and just like crying, but it can be an emotional point. Maybe it's something super exciting, like you reached 10,000 followers, or you made your first $1,000, or your first $1 million month, whatever it is. And another one is a challenge. I challenge you to do X, Y, and Z with this type of dress. But you could create a challenge, and that is a good hook. If you stay within the realm, you're probably in, honestly, a very good spot. All right, so a great way to, I would say, come up with new content and new hooks is to go to something like Foreplay. This is absolutely free, at least at the time of this recording. If you just comment the word Foreplay down below, I'll give it to you, and we add new content every single day, most days anyway. So here's some example of content that you could do. Maybe if you're a tennis brand, here's another brand. It's a little bit more of like a streetwear, picking and choosing what's going on. And those are good examples of hooks as well, but just finding something that are actually trending. And like I said, if you comment Foreplay down below, I'll send this to you. That way you have a ton of different ideas and content that you can go off of. But first, hold up just 1 second. I want to say a quick hey, howdy, and hello. My name is Aaron. Alongside my business partner, Christian, we have co-founded a company called Bit Branding that specializes in helping you, clothing brand owners, boutiques, streetwear, private labels, print on demand. If you are in the fashion space, that is who we serve. And in the last 12 months alone, we've served over 300 clothing brands, and I would really appreciate it if you found any value in this video so far. Just hit that nice little like and subscribe button. If you do this in the next 3 seconds, I will share with you one of the most popular cartoon shows from 2002 that you probably forgot about. Carl, get in here right now, Jimmy! So number 1 is the hook mastery. Number 2 thing that you must do inside of Instagram has to do with the messaging, but is also kind of a little tactical here, if you will. Before we get into the tactics, I do need to explain that if you create content for the wrong person, none of this will actually work. So we do need to talk messaging, because the right message to the right person is always a better plan here. The best way that I know how to do this, and you can use this for yourself, whether you use these documents or you use your own, you have to figure out who you're actually talking to. How does Instagram work? Well, for example, I'll talk about this here in a second, but basically you've probably gotten a lot of your friends and family to follow you on Instagram, and Instagram doesn't know, A, if you are a content creator, whether you're a business owner, it has no clue who you actually are, so it's very confused. And then you get engagement from your friends and family who are not your target audience, and Instagram is even more confused. So we need to know who our audience is, because messaging actually does matter, and then I'll give you a very specific tactic of what you can do to improve your engagement and focus on a new audience so that you go from followers to more non-followers and reach a broader audience. Real quickly, struggling avatar, who is this? The person who has an actual problem. Nobody does anything, especially even in clothing, right? You're like, I buy clothes for certain reasons, and that's fine, but you are solving a problem, right? As the business owner, you're solving a problem, and you must be very clear about the problem that you're actually solving. And then that way you can actually speak to your audience. So the struggling avatar breaks it down very simple. Here's all of the information that you need to talk through and find out. And you're like, well, that's a lot of work. It is. And you're like, well, I need to post content on Instagram. Yes, you do. You need to be consistent, and I'll talk about kind of the metrics I would be hitting every single day for your brand. However, if it's to the wrong person, then it doesn't matter. Problem is, it's not as sexy to talk about the messaging piece here, so this is kind of like I'm not gatekeeping by any means. I'm going to give you all the answers, but if you don't do this part, me telling you tactical stuff won't work. You have to build a strong business principles, if you will, plural, to actually make this thing grow. So you need to know your core values, why you started this business, your identities, your experience, your knowing, right? And then you'll realize that you initially are your actual avatar here, right? So you're the customer, and why you created this brand or why you're selling this brand, whether you're doing print on demand or have a boutique or you have your streetwear, it doesn't matter. You have to understand who your actual audience is. So that person has a problem, and through this document, you actually understand what that problem is, understand your audience at a deeper level, and then you have a unique solution. What's the solution? It is your brand. For example, this is a brand called Ghosty, and they are based out of New York, and you can actually see them here. I think I've shouted them out on the YouTube channel before, but they are part of our program, an OSO member, and the problem that they're solving, a younger generation, kind of a streetwear, like young generation meeting like an old school kind of nostalgic vibe, and they're trying to pay a little bit of a homage to some roots, if you will. So they're combining the two of those. You got an oversized shirt, super high quality material. It's actually a little oversized, if you will, so it fits all of those kind of vibes. It's great material. I know it's a super high quality product, and then they meshed, like I said, the old school and the new school together to solve an actual problem. So that's their unique solution to the marketplace. You need to find yours. And then you have a future paced hero. So what is life like afterwards? Well, this particular brand worked well with me because I love the design. At this point, I could see through the content and through the product photos that it was good quality, so it's durable. But I also I'm a big nostalgic person, and you'll see here later in this video how and why, but I'm a big nostalgic person, and I also like to keep up with what's actually trending right now too, so it's like a perfect combination for me. And so, Future Pace Hero, me, what are the wins that you get to have? Well, now I have something that showcases more about me. There's certain aspirational identities or desires that I have that are now being met because of that. And so there's questions that you should answer here, and all you're doing is painting a picture. Hey, Steven or Jan, you have a problem. My brand, our brand, this unique solution, and then life like afterwards. What is like after this? Hey, if you guys want these documents on how to understand who your audience actually is, just comment the word avatar down below and I'll send it over to you so you guys can fill it out and understand exactly who your customer is. We had a brand who was based out of Jersey. They were an athleisure brand, kind of an athletic line, and they focused on women who needed a better, more supporting bra without all of the other issues, right? So the problem is you got a bra that doesn't really fit well. You can't really run or work out as much as you would like. You got to wear 2 bras. Maybe that's, the problem that somebody has. The unique solution was this program member's brand, and then life like afterwards, right? They only had to wear 1 bra. It was durable. They got multiple colors of it. It was just something that lasted a long time and was not frustrating. They could actually go and run or work out and not have as many issues. That's what you've got to do here. And you're like, how does that affect Instagram? A lot. It affects it a ton, because if you have good hooks, and for example, the negative part of this, if we're gonna go to that bra situation, you could go negative and say like, are you tired of having bra slippage? Are you tired of not being able to work out? Like all of those could be negatives, or like listicles, like 3 things you need to have in place to have a better workout if you're large busted. Anyway, it could be the negative, or you could list them out. 3 things that you can do to have a crazy good workout, and the very last one of them could be the bra that you're actually selling. That could all be a hook. Low engagement happens a lot because people post content that their audience doesn't actually like, and if you're just starting out and you don't have a ton of followers or content posted, then it's likely your friends and family engaging, which really skews the data. So this is exactly why I do not like when people run engagement posts to get their followers for the brand to seem more legitimate. Or, as Franklin just told me, some people in our program have actually purchased Instagram accounts and then they have tons of followers, but there's no actual engagement and it's not actually their audience. Now, the algorithm is just confused on who your actual audience is and who you're creating content for. Instagram wants to know if you're a serious business owner or treating this like a hobby with some friends, checking out your stuff every now and then, because you have no actual real engagement. If you want to do this to test out your content, you should be using what's called trial reels. You can go to a profile here, go ahead and create a reel. Let's go ahead here and I will give you guys a picture here. This will be my reel. It's a live photo. Go ahead and hit next. And then when you're getting ready to scroll down here, you can see trial. Go ahead and hit new. So I'm gonna read this to you and I'll also explain a little bit. So it says, in a feed and reels, your reel will only be shown to non-followers at first and won't appear on your actual profile. If it performs well, you can also choose to automatically share it to everyone in the trial settings. Okay, so why is this important? You're gonna get your content to go to people who do not follow you. You're probably not gonna reach a ton of people, but it's gonna tell you if the content is good, and it's gonna tell you if you need to make some changes. Now, what should you be doing with this, okay? A couple of ideas here and a couple of things that you need to do. So what you wanna do is go find a couple of these things. You wanna find your top performing content over the last 12 months. So I'm gonna close out of this, all right? Start over. I'm gonna go back to my profile here, and then I'm gonna go to my dashboard, and then I'm gonna look at my content that I've shared. I'm gonna do, at this point, the last year, okay? And then I'm going to sort by the highest amount of counts reached, shares, engaged. I honestly like engaged. You're gonna apply this, all right? And you're gonna see, okay, how to grow your clothing store fast was the #1 here that we had. So I'd grab that and then I would literally repost it. I would come up with 3 different hooks, like I mentioned earlier, the different types of hooks. So something with a little bit more emotion, something negative, listicles, whatever they are. You're gonna take that content that you have that did really well, you're gonna post it on trials, don't change anything. One strategy to also do, repost that exact reel that did well. For example, this was from October 17th of 2024. All I'm going to do is literally download and re-upload. Same music, everything. Do not change out anything at all and repost it exactly to trials. And then what I want to do is, since this had 30 saves and 11 shares, so you go to the reel and the only thing that you're going to change is the hook and then repost it. That's it. Instagram right now, this still works really well, and a lot of people don't know about it, is like your best performing content, just change the thumbnail and change the hook, that's it. And that's why I mention every single time that you're posting content to replace it with a different hook. Come up with like 3 different hooks of a piece of content that already works, and you can do like once a week right now with your best performing content, and it's gonna reach new people, going to non-followers. You don't have to recreate the wheel. I know maybe that's a big insight or a big unlock for you. So the biggest thing here for using trials and for reposting, do not stop posting regularly at all. Because if you do not continue to be active, which I'll talk about what active looks like here in a second, if you do not continue to be active, then you're gonna lose out on the people who actually would have come over there that are the non-followers. So you do need to post on stories, you do need to be creating other reels, otherwise they're gonna go there and then they're gonna absolutely just leave, and it does you no good. The right message to the wrong audience or the wrong message to the right audience will yield absolutely no results. You will not grow your Instagram. You have to be confident that your message is clear. And if your audience is confused, you will lose. Now I'll show you exactly how to find your audience and create clear messaging. But first, I want to say that if you are a clothing brand owner, boutique, private label, right, you're in the fashion space, and you want to jump into the specifics of your brand and how to grow it profitably online, you can schedule a free 45-minute strategy session with us. There are limited spots, so go find a time on the calendar that works best for you by checking out the link in the description down below. Okay, all right, so I want to audit a couple of Instagram accounts for you based off of 5 principles that you can use for yourself to improve your chance to reach more non-followers. So let's go over here. There's 5 main areas that I want to look at, and I look at for any time I'm auditing an Instagram account. I will go ahead and put them on the board here. I had people in our program actually put their Instagram profiles in here, and I would go and look at them and give an actual audit. I'll pick a couple of them to go in depth, but I actually will give an audit of most of them just as a high level, just because I'm a nice person. So I'll go through them and share them with you guys. So I'll go in order of who responded first. Oh, there's a lot more than I thought. Maybe I will not go through everybody. Okay, so number 1, Palmer. So lighting here, pretty dark. Could be much better lighting. What's going on, they could actually use, like we have multiple lights, light here, light here, light here. So lighting's a little bit lower. Could be a little bit brighter. They could get in front of a camera, or sorry, in front of a window. So audio is decent. It's coming from a high quality mic. Lighting, like I said, I'll give this a nice little 3 out of 10. Audio quality, let's give this a 7. Visual clarity, I mean, it could be a little bit of my phone. I don't know. It's not super crisp. Doesn't look like she's completely in focus. Could be punched in a little bit more. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 here on the actual visual. I like the text here for the podcast type of view. I think that makes sense, but there's not really anything else. It's kind of like punching in. It's actually pretty clean. So again, kind of 5 out of 10. And then consistency, it's kind of hard to tell. So what I'm looking for when I'm seeing consistency is like, are there more podcast type views? If I saw this one again or saw that again, would I know this is actually from Palmer? And there's so many different variations of content here that, okay, there's this other guy, Nick, and then I haven't seen anything from Rebecca here in a while. So I don't know if this is the same person. So you're really looking for like consistency of the same style of personality or person there. Cool song, lighting, decent, at least shot on the back camera so you can tell that. Audio quality, it's just a song, there's no actual audio there. Visual clarity, decent. I would work on the text and editing, just spacing it out a little bit, or putting text, reading a little bit, and then more text, and then coming in and reading it versus like 4 or 5 lines. The average person can only read about 3 to 4 lines before they think it's too much and they would have scrolled. This one actually did decent for them, but again, there's still some things to actually improve on. All right, so that's Palmer. All right, so Where Bear Fruit. The biggest thing I was gonna say right now is they don't have stories up there, so make sure you post them some actual stories. All right, so very simple. So lighting, decent. She's using the back camera, which is good. She's inside of a locker room. Could be a little bit higher quality. Audio quality is just literally song, so it's decent. Visual clarity, it's pretty clear. Cool. Okay, so this is actually, let's do this one as well. So this one only has 227 views, but let's see what's going on here. So lighting, good lighting. You can definitely tell there could be some lighting on the background. I'm trying to look at his eyes, maybe even a light ring or a ring light, sorry. The audio quality, super crisp. He's got a great microphone, so I'm gonna give that a nice little 9 out of 10. Like I said, lighting, give that about an 8 out of 10. Visual clarity, again, I can see him. It's probably way too much over his head versus anything else, but like the actual clarity, crisp, give that a nice 7 or 8 out of 10. The text and editing, the text is great. It's a lot of text for what he's saying, and it's covered up by the actual captions. There's so many things that are going on here, so give that a 2 out of 10 on the actual editing and captions. And then consistency, great video. Actually, I'll give this a nice little 5 out of 10. I can actually tell it's actually the same guy. Well, at least where I could see it right here for like the 3 that were in a row, but then now they're all kind of different. This is like a podcast. There's another like podcast different. This is driving. So just like to see some consistency about who it is, same kind of audio quality, visual quality, and then who it's actually in the content. Like I said, give a 5 out of 10 on that. So it's a little bit better by going that way. So just getting back to something a little bit more consistent here. One more, and then these other ones I'm going to do is kind of a rapid pace, and honestly, we may just clip it out and then send it to the OSO members as not part of this video. So, very first thing, 1, not posting stories, so definitely please make sure that you're actually posting some stories. Let's go to the most recent reel here. If I'm going to rate this off of lighting, decent lighting, screen, so it's not going to be the absolute best. Audio quality, echoey. You can tell he's kind of like in an open room, doesn't have a microphone on. I'm going to give that a nice little 5 out of 10 there. And like I said, lighting could be better, probably at a 4 out of 10. It's not super crisp. Visual quality, cool visual, love the green screen, gonna give them a 9 out of 10 there. Pay for InShot, get rid of the InShot logo because you got your logo down at the bottom. Actually, I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna backtrack because you got your designs down there and you also got the .com and then the InShot, so it's throwing me off a little bit. So I'm gonna give you an 8 out of 10 there. Text and editing, green screen, love it. Honestly, that's why I'll give a higher score here. I'll give a 7. You could be moving around, you could be pointing at things. There we go, we got a change of a shirt, so that's good. Took a long time to do so. So 7 out of 10 for the text and editing. Consistency, solid 8 out of 10. I would definitely see you got you on a green screen with multiple shirts in the background, very front facing with like who this person actually is. So kudos to you on that one. Give that a nice 8 out of 10 as well. All right, so right away, no stories. Again, please guys, if you learned anything, post on some actual stories. Okay, so biggest thing here, no original type of content, it's just graphics, so a lot of work that can be done there. Again, getting back to the consistency, lighting, there's just a lot of variations of content here. There isn't any consistency with it. No audio quality. A lot of variations, a lot of different things that you could be doing here. I'd be turning that camera around. Decent following, decent engagements, but I'd really like to see a lot more work there on the actual audio quality and putting the camera in front of your face. All right, another comment real quickly. Definitely, please make sure that you're posting stories. All right, this is a thank you, January 31st. Just want to say real quickly on this one, please continue to post consistent content. So consistent content and stories and repeating the same things that I just said earlier, right? Get on the actual camera, post the actual content. Even if you are, I know for this brand, it is a guy and he's predominantly selling to women. You can still do a green screen like we saw the guy done previously. You can still do high quality audio, and you can still do what we talked about earlier, which is understanding your audience and giving value to those people through your actual product. Biggest thing for you guys for Devare, love that you guys actually have the blue check mark. Makes me think you're more legitimate. Post on the stories. Also post more often. Doesn't look like you guys have posted in quite some time. Consistency here is kind of the bigger piece. Again, lighting. This one did better for a reason. Editing, definitely needs some love on the editing. Less is more here, especially for your type of brand. But make sure there's good audio. Make sure that you have good lighting. There isn't very much consistency here other than this blue text on the screen. And right now it still says your name up at the top. So Jeremy up at the top. Please change that handle to actually be the brand. And then for the reels, okay, it looks like you're using a lot of AI. Probably try to use some real people or get you on there or your ideal customer. It's going to be very helpful for the brand. Okay, so looking at this one, again, make sure that you're actually posting stories. Got a reminder here. All right, so 2 days ago, please be consistent. And consistent to me can be like every day. And I'm talking about different consistency than here. Consistency is like, can I tell this is the actual brand? I can. This is actually good quality, at least similar types of shots. Couple of things here. I do like the actual occasion, date night stuff, so the editing a little bit better on here for the text and editing. Visual quality looks decent. There isn't actually a voiceover or anything here, so can't really touch on that too much. All right, let's go to this last one. Go to the most recent reel for this one. Love that she's doing some actual stories. Let's see what's going on here. Nice. Okay, so she's jumping on an actual trend. Lighting. Good. Looks like she's got everything on a white background. Using the back camera, so we actually got some good quality there. Audio quality is just as trending sound, so again, give her a 10 out of 10 here. Lighting, give her an 8. Visual quality, awesome. She's using our foreplay link, it looks like. Maybe not, but this is a trending sound here that you can use, or a trending movement, if you will. So visual quality, great. Text and editing, give that a 10 out of 10. This is awesome. Following the trend to the T. And then consistency. A couple of things to change on the consistency. I don't know if I would know that this is actually them or not. It's kind of like as I'm looking at the grid or looking through other content, I can't really tell. Although you guys do need to post some more actual reels, please do that. But yeah, this was actually a step in the right direction 4 days ago. So continue to do stuff like this. I'm going to give the consistency a 3 out of 10, but everything else, super solid. So you got a ton of potential here. So Instagram organic is great, but using paid ads alongside organic is the best combo to scale your brand. Go watch this video on Instagram. It's right here next. All right, y'all, have a great rest of your day. I will see you next time. And P.S. Make sure you subscribe.